Hello, and welcome to the New York Immigration Coalition's Road to Recovery video series. My name is Kaya Groom, and I am the Immigrant Services Support Events Associate at the New York Immigration Coalition. The NYIC has put together a series of videos to share information and resources in response to rapidly changing policies regarding economic recovery and resilience, education, health, and social services available to support immigrant New Yorkers. Today, we will be hearing from Soko Hernandez, Program Coordinator of Qualitas of Life Foundation. We will be discussing financial services and resources available for immigrant New Yorkers, how to build credit while paying off debts, how you can protect yourself against financial scams and fraud, and more. We will also take live questions from community members. Please remember this is a public space. We want to make sure it is as safe as possible for everyone, so please refrain from sharing personal information. If you have a personal question, our contact information has been pinned in the comments below. We would like to thank the New York City Council and Department of Youth and Community Development for sponsoring this video. Thank you, Soko, for joining us this evening.
Thank you, Kaya. Thank you for having us. And thank you, NYIC, for always supporting the work of Qualitas of Life Foundation.
Of course, we are always super excited to work with Qualitas and appreciate you coming to both our in-person and our virtual events. We're going to get into what Qualitas does throughout the video. Soko, if you'd like to give a brief breakdown now, we can do that.
Yeah, well, we're going to see a lot of information regarding budgeting, savings, a lot of tips on how to build credit, how to get ready for buying a house, to starting a business, to paying taxes, and all the tax benefits that we can get. And a lot of information. So stay tuned because this will be a great time for you to learn and for us to share for our community.
Yes, thank you, Soko. Qualitas of Life really has answers to all of our financial questions. So we can go ahead and dive into the questions now. Our first question is, I struggle to keep track of my finances. Do you have any recommendations for budgeting techniques I can use to keep track of what I earn and what I spend?
Yeah, sure. Budgeting is one of our most common questions. And for us, budgeting is an essential financial tool that will help you take control of your finances. So it's one of the common mistakes when budgeting is trying to different methods that are not aligned to your needs or your lifestyle. So if you want to get like your A game on budgeting, one of the methods that are like shared by experts and most like recommend are the 50-30-20 technique. This means 50% of your income goes to covering your needs. Needs are, for example, paying rent, buying food, transportation, utilities, and your fixed debt or loans. 30% of your income goes to your wants. So wants can be entertainment, your gym membership, for example, streaming services, or even your hobbies. And 20% of your income should go to your savings. For example, creating that emergency fund, saving for retirement, paying or your revolving credit, or even a saving for your long-term goals. So at first, the 50-30-20 formula might not look like that, might not look work for you. It might look like 80-20 0, or 80-10-10, or even like 100 to your needs. That's okay. What matters is that you can keep working until you find like the best formula for you and to meet your financial needs. And overall, to build an effective budgeting skills for Qualitas, we recommend following the like 3 simple steps. One, follow a simple and easy budgeting system. So this can be either an Excel spreadsheet. We at Qualitas can share one that we have is very basic, and you can adjust and adapt that spreadsheet to whatever you feel most likely to work for you. You can also find apps on your phone, or maybe your bank is offering a budgeting application for you. Also, you can go to the basics, grab a pen, grab a paper, and build that build that budgeting system for you. So you can have like different options out there, but make sure that the system works for you and becomes something that is easy for you to use and follow. So it has to be very easy and simple. The second step is tailor your budget to your financial situation. So currently, you might be experiencing some negative cash flow, and you might not be ready to set aside money for your long-term financial goals or for your savings. That's okay. Your financial goal can be getting to a positive cash flow that will eventually take you to, like buying a house or starting a business. So maybe you are recovering from the financial hardships of the pandemic that brought to all of us. Your financial goal can be working on your repayment debt plan. So your budget should be based on your needs and your financial situation. It should work for you and only you. So don't follow recommendations that are not aligned to your financial situation. So, this is the third step. You have to be realistic and flexible with yourself. So, when creating a budget, the first mistake we make is to set unrealistic financial goals that set us to failure. For example, after working tirelessly, maybe you enjoy having your nails done, or going out to eat, or maybe buying that ice latte or whatever. It's fine. Don't feel guilty on expending your money on that pleasures that you have, but you can prioritize. Learn how to choose between your wants, and how to prioritize will be key for your budgeting experience. So maybe prioritize those expenses and cut off other expenses that you are making on the daily basis. Remember, a budget is a financial plan that allows you to make strategic decisions. And these strategic decisions should be to satisfy both needs and wants. So it's okay to get Starbucks or an iced coffee if you are making other smart decisions on your budget. And lastly, learn about your financial habits. It's important that you identify the areas of improvement that you can make on your budget. Balance your total expenses from your total income and see whether you have money left or you have a deficit. If you are having a breaking point, if your cash flow is positive or negative, if you have a deficit, you have to identify the largest or the most frequent expenses and decide if these are needs or wants that you want to prioritize, or you can cut from your expenses. And if you have a surplus of money, you can decide how you want to use it to achieve your financial goals. So you will learn how are you making those financial decisions, and learn more about yourself and how can you help yourself get to your financial health. We recommend making a date for it, maybe setting a date on a monthly basis, maybe, I don't know, like grabbing a coffee or something to relax and balance your budget. Learn from your financial habits, your financial mistakes, and that will help you stay on track on your personal finances. So that will make you follow your budget on a daily month.
Thank you, Soko. That's super helpful. I know budgeting can sometimes feel very intimidating, so it is good to know that there's no one way or one right way to budget, and it's something that people can turn into kind of an enjoyable experience by getting a coffee or something while you're doing it. Maybe if you can treat yourself while you're budgeting. So now that we have a little bit of an idea about budgeting, what other financial resources are available for immigrant New Yorkers regarding taxes, budgeting, building credit, savings, and more?
Well, there's a lot of resources available for immigrants, New Yorkers here in New York City. They are free, they are trustworthy, and they are available in a wide range of languages besides English. For example, Qualitas of Life, in collaboration with the NYIC, has been offering remote one-on-one sessions since February to we have until June 30th. These sessions we offer on these sessions we offer guidance on how to build your credit and how to improve your budgeting skills, different saving techniques that you can use, even making referrals to other trustworthy service providers here in New York. So you can take advantage of that. And likewise, there are many other organizations that are, as Qualitas of Life, are offering great financial services. For example, the NYC Department of Consumer and Worker Protection has the Financial Empowerment Centers available for all New Yorkers, regardless of their immigration status. They can reach out to experts, financial counseling services in a range of different topics. For example, how to I don't know, talk with an agent, or maybe I have something filed on my credit report and I don't know how to resolve that issue. So these financial counselors will help you and guide you through that process. Also, they offer a lot of information on housing and financial aid, and all of these services are for free. And you can ask for different interpretation services if you are not feeling comfortable with English. There's also a lot of services in New York, service providers that offer tax preparation services. And this is through a program called NYC Free Tax Prep. So all these organizations that are certified by the IRS are called VITA centers. So they cater for low-income families and individuals that need guidance on their tax filing process. They speak different languages and they offer very professional services. So you can reach out to them, and there's a lot of other information that you can and resources that you can reach out, and that I can go on and go on to talk about. But I will invite you to reach out and check the NYIC website and social media channels, because well, you guys are the ones that are always promoting a lot of information. And why not find us on our social media channels? You can find us as Qualitas of Life Foundation. We are always promoting financial education and promoting the different financial services that the city has for the immigrant community, both in Spanish and English as well.
That's great. It's definitely important to go directly to financial counselors who can answer your questions if you have specific questions. If you just want to get a better understanding of your money, of your budgeting, we would definitely recommend going to Qualitas of Life, going to the Department of Consumer and Worker Protections. We have options in New York City, luckily, regardless of immigration status. And as Qualitas said, we will be doing financial clinics through Qualitas of Life and the NYIC through June 30th. So please go to those links if you have any specific questions. Those links will be pinned in the comments, and you can register for our remaining financial clinic appointments. Our next question is a little bit more specific regarding banking. So, what is required for opening a bank account, and am I able to open a bank account with an ITIN?
A great question. And something that I want to put out there is that all New Yorkers, regardless of their immigration status, can own a bank account. And this having access to financial services is part of our financial rights. So banks and credit unions, they must verify their account holders' identity. This is to avoid different like illegal you know uh sorry, I forgot the word. I don't want to use illegal issues
Yes.
that they want to avoid. But while they have to verify the account holder's identity, that doesn't mean that they will ask you your immigration status. So you they can ask you, general speaking, for your identification, like official identification. That this identification will have to have your legal name and your date of birth. And this can be like you can present your current passport, your consular ID, your driver's license, or even your municipal ID. So some banks and credit unions do accept the ID NYC, so you can show that as well. And they will ask you for your proof of address. So everything that goes and have your postal address on it can help you prove that. So every utility bill you can use that, a voter card, your lease, or even again your same driver license or your municipal ID can work for to prove your address. And additionally, maybe depending on the financial service, the bank or credit union can ask you for your tax identification number. And this can be your social security number or your ITIN. The ITIN is the individual taxpayer identification number. And this will be only, for example, if you are asking for a credit card. So they will have to have that number, but it's not a limitation to get a bank account. So if you only want a bank account, your ID and your proof of address should be enough for you to have a bank account.
That's great. It's really good to know that you don't need a social security number to open a bank account, and that's super important. You kind of touched on this in our last question, but how can I protect myself against financial scams and fraud as an immigrant New Yorker?
So, okay, the financial system is very complex, and for newcomers or immigrants as myself, it can take time to understand the US financial system. So, scammers will take advantage of this lack of knowledge and will deprive you from your money and harm your financial health through deceptive, misleading, or other illegal practices. So, to protect yourself, the first things that you have to do is to be diligent. And with that, don't share your personal information with anybody, or reserve to whom you are sharing your personal information. Keep yourself always informed, and when in doubt, reach out to organizations that you trust. For example, the NYC, the Qualitas of Life Foundation, all other organizations that you trust. They will help you see and check about the information that you are getting. And among other tips that I can share is, well, always keep your personal information in a secure place. Don't dispose them, or dispose them properly. Do not share sensitive information by phone or email unless you initiate that conversation and you are sure that whoever is in the other line is the person that you want to share, or is maybe your financial institution or is other agency, and you are sure the your information will be information will be protected. Don't believe in stories that money has appeared magically. This happens in the Hispanic community a lot. So yeah, when it's too good to be true, it's because it's too good to be true. So don't believe stories. Be cautious about clicking on links or opening attachments, or maybe if you get a weird message from one of your contacts, make sure that that information is correct, and don't click on it just because someone sent it to you. Don't provide your personal information verbally or accept any type of debt when collection agencies call you. Make sure that you know who to whom you are sharing that information and who is calling, and always check your credit report and your banking statements, because you can maybe find out if you have been victim of identity theft and you haven't noticed it. If you're seeing that you have been victim of a financial scam, file a report. Always, doesn't matter this is regardless your immigration status. You have the right to report and file a report with a financial institution, credit report agency, or even here with the district attorney or the Department for Consumer and Workers Protection. You can call the 311 to receive more help and guidance in the process of filing a report, and believe that there will be a lot of organizations and support through this process, and if you have been victim of financial scams.
Thank you, Soko. Yes, the US financial system can be super overwhelming, and it's important that we're being diligent and making sure that we are only going to trusted sources, such as the Qualitas of Life Foundation or the New York Immigration Coalition, with financial questions and sharing our financial information. So thank you for highlighting that. Our next question is around credit, which is something that affects so many people here in New York City. And we're wondering, how can I balance building credit while paying off loans? This is something that a lot of people have to try and do, and say, I don't want to go into more debt, but I hear that credit cards are a good way to build debt. Build credit. What are some alternatives to building credit other than credit cards if I don't want to go into more debt while building credit?
Well, that's a great question again, because credit is among the financial tools, one of that sometimes a person don't utilize as much. Credit is a financial tool that should be used to meet your short, medium, and long-term financial goals, rather than help you cover your basic needs. No, so your credit profiles can influence all aspects of your life. Having a good borrower history will be especially important when it comes to maybe renting an apartment, financing a car, buying a house, or even finding a job for those that want to focus on the financial industry. So focusing on building a good credit history is very important for your financial health. So saying that, after saying that, one of the actionable steps that a person can take to build a good credit is having a repayment plan on your budget. So whatever you are spending, and maybe if you're taking a loan, you have to make sure that you have a plan, and you will know how much or how long that will take you to repay that loan or credit that you're using. So if you're paying off loans, make sure to always pay on time, to learn all the aspects of your loan. For example, if you pay early, if you miss a payment, what happened if you change jobs or if you change financial institutions. And this is only to pay as fast as you can. So Saving on the interest, like saving interest is saving money for you. So interest can take a toll on your financial health and can slow your savings goals, for example. So a good and easy way to build credit while paying off loans is to identify your fixed monthly expenses. For example, this could be your needs, like rent, transportation, food, those payments that you know and you already budgeted for it. So you have the money, and you are spending the money, and you can use your credit card to pay this expenses, to cover these expenses, and making sure to pay that money before it generates interest on your credit card. So it's taking your money and paying with like the bank, but paying it back like right away. It's like having like a circle of money. And this like action, like this system will help you um, create a good use of your credit, and will impact your credit score because they will see that you are making positive actions on your credit. And this to do this is going to be key for you to only spend what you can afford. So it should, that's why should be fixed monthly expenses, those that you already budgeted and that you have the money to repay off before it generates interest. So I think that's a good tip. And if you want more tips, you can sign up for the one-on-one sessions because I have a lot.
Yes, Soko is the budget credit loan expert here. So we definitely turned to her for her expertise. That circular visualization was very helpful. I know credit, it's a super confusing concept. So it's great to have some visualization for that. Now, you touched on how important credit is for things like getting an apartment or buying a house. So, how can I save and budget to buy a house? And what is required to buy a house?
Okay, that's a great question. I know that I say a great questions, like I've been saying that's great questions, but this is
They're straight from
something.
community members, so they came up with the great questions.
This is the question that we get, and most recently we are getting it more and more. So becoming a homeowner is one of the most wanted financial goal among our participants, and in a way, it's like part of the American dream or everybody's dream. Like, who haven't dreamed about having or owning their own house? So is there, everyone wants it. However, it's a very serious financial obligation that a person or a family can acquire. And for us, the first recommendation is to always get ready. It's not an easy or it's, I know and I'm far from saying that it's not attainable. It's attainable. You can do it, but get ready, because a mortgage is a financial obligation on which you commit yourself for 10 to 20 years. So you will have to make sure that on that time you are covering all your needs and your payments on time. So to get ready financially for this big step, our recommendation is one, to build a solid foundation, like a financial foundation. So the hierarchy of needs starts with having the means to cover your basic needs and having a cash flow. To move up on the ladder of this hierarchy needs to the financial safety, that is having an emergency fund. So I'm no longer worried if I have the money or the means to cover my basic needs, because I will have that. And I will also have the financial system safety if something happens? What happens if I lose my job or a pandemic hits? So I will have the means to cover that unplanned situations and also my needs, and I will have cash flow. So the other step on the ladder is accumulating wealth. So paying off debt, buying a house is like the third step on the ladder. And then attaining the financial freedom, for example, owning a retirement saving account. So for this, you will have to plan very carefully, always making sure that your basic needs and having cash flow is right there. So this is like if you are not in a place where your basic needs are met, well, it's not attainable for you to think about buying a house, at least not yet. You can start taking actionable steps to get there, and these actionable steps can be utilize your financial tools. So to be ready for a financial obligation of this size, you will have to bring your A game again on your financial tools. So budgeting, that's like your baseline. Budgeting is the best financial tool that you can use. So your budget should be tied to your smart financial goals. And what is a smart financial goal? Well, it's a goal that is specific, is measurable, is attainable, is realistic, and is time bound. So buying a house should be set as an SMART goal. So if it's specific, yeah, I want a house. Is measurable, yes, I want a house of $1,000,000 at $3,000. So what type of house? It has a one room. It's a maybe a studio. It's a one bedroom apartment, two bedrooms apartment. It's a house with a patio. It's attainable. It's attainable for me to have to own a $1,000,000 house. Maybe not with my salary. Um, is realistic. I can make those payments or no. It's time bound. I'm gonna get that house in 1 year. Maybe in a year it's not attainable for me. But if it is a 5 year plan or a 10 year plan, it might be. So it has to be set as an SMART goal, and your budget should be tied to that SMART goal. So SMART goals can be short term, less than 1 year. I'm gonna accomplish that in less than 1 year. Medium term, I'm gonna accomplish that goal in 1 to 5 years, or long term. So I'm accomplish that goal in 5 to 10 years. So if you're planning to buy a house, you will have to decide how much you are willing to spend, how much do you really can afford, and when are you buying that house. So the second thing is setting a saving plan. So to buy a house, you will need more than the down payment. People only focus on the down payment, but there's more. You will have to pay one-time payments such as the closing costs, attorney fees, real estate agent fees, the inspection, insurance, and more and more. So additionally, you will have to consider recurring payments such as the mortgage, interest, and real estate taxes, home ownership insurance, maintenance, and among others. So with your SMART goal set, you will need to know how many years you will have to save for, and how much do you need for that to take that step. So let's say I'm gonna get that house in 10 years. So I'm gonna start saving. So don't save in your regular saving account. There is others kind of savings services and financial services that your bank and your credit union have. For example, the certificate of deposit. This is a saving accounts that generally have the highest interest rate among savings accounts. So, for example, if you are saving for a house that you are planning to get in 10 years, if you save there, you can duplicate or triplicate your money. So you are making your money work for you instead of you working for your money. So be smart like that and make a saving plan and look for financial services that can help you improve those actions that you're taking. And then we have building a good credit score. So to be eligible for a mortgage financing or a mortgage loan, you have to have at least a credit score between 650 to 680. However, on every type of loan, the better your credit score is, the better your APR is. So you want that APR to be as tiny as possible, because that will impact how much money you will own. Um, Later on. So, for example, if you are planning to have a house that costs $300,000 and your APR is about 29%, your house will cost a lot of more money than you are planning for. But if you have a great credit score, you can get access to lower interest rates. That will mean a cheaper house. So focus on that if you want to buy a house. And lastly, set a repayment plan before making or taking any decision around buying a house. You will have to think if you can make the payments possible, if that's something that you can do, if it's on your means. So you will have to think of the frequency and the amount of payments that you will have to do in order to be ready for that obligation. So there's another good point. Shop around mortgage loans, rates, and local programs. For example, here in NYC, there is a program called Home First Down Payment Assistance Program that provides qualified home buyers with up to $100,000 towards your down payment or the closing cost for a family of 1 to 4. And it can be a condominium, a cooperative, or any other house in the 5 boroughs of the New York City. So take advantage of those programs that are there available and make your money work.
Yes, thank you. There are so many programs to learn about, and Qualitas can direct you towards the right programs for you. And yeah, it really all comes back down to budgeting and setting those long term goals when it comes to house buying. We're going to bring it back to taxes now. So, I would like to know about the best strategy for taxes. I have an 18-year-old daughter who is eligible to do her own taxes, but I'm wondering what the benefits are of allowing her to do her own taxes versus claiming her as a dependent. And what else should I claim on my taxes other than my children?
Well, in general, the best strategy for taxes is always filing taxes. And even though if you don't make enough money or you are obligated by the IRS to file taxes, because we have seen that sometimes there is a lot of, incentives that you can get, or you can access to public services, you can access to programs, and they will require you to present your tax return. So always file for your taxes. That doesn't mean that you will have to pay something to the IRS. That will mean that you are making a step forward for your financial health. So saying that, after mentioning that, I want to highlight that every case is different. So in general terms, when a minor still depends on their parents to pay rent, to buy food, cover their basic needs, they can be claimed as a dependent, even though they, like, if they work or they are making income by themselves, they can be claimed as dependents. So the key is that anyone that works and makes less than $2,000 per fiscal year, if they are not obligated to file taxes. So if she has 18, if she's 18-year-old and make less than $2,000, sorry, $12,000. I meant to say $12,000, and she still receives financial support from their parents. We will recommend to include her on their family taxes. And to give an example, when a minor files their own taxes, and she still or is still dependent on their parents, this can be detrimental to her opportunities to access financial aid, for example, because when they make their own or they file their own taxes, when on that process of financial aid, they will be asked for their tax returns. So she will be obligated to present her own, and maybe evaluating their like financial background. They will be harsh with her because she will be like a single household, and it might be more important for her to consider her family financial background, because there might be, like other brothers and sisters, and overall the amount of income could be less if you account for all the rest of the family members. So it might be for her, like they might consider her to have like a higher income, and this will get her like less financial aid. So if she's still a minor and she still depends to cover, like on her parents to cover her basic needs, and this is like rent and food and other expenses, the best recommendation will be to claim her as dependent. But we are not on Qualitas. We are not certified by the IRS as tax providers. So, as on the one-on-one, if I get this call, I would recommend the family to go to one of the Vita centers in NYC. So they have like professionals that they can go and look into the details of this family and this 18 years old daughter, and see if they can get like other incentives and taxes. These are free services that this family can get, and the key will be to maybe on the details. Maybe they are missing something there, and the tax service provider can recommend even better things for her to do with her taxes. So yeah, I think overall at the end, always check with a certified tax provider, a representative, and see all your the tax aspects of your situation, and from there take the best decisions for you.
Yes, taxes are so personal. It is definitely best to go speak to a free tax prep Vita center where the financial counselors can really give you the best expertise in that area. So now we're going to jump to a question around small business. So I would like to start my own business, but I am not sure about the financial requirements. What financial steps do I need to take to start a business, and what tax information should I be aware of when starting a small business?
Okay, so again, as I mentioned on the question of buying a house, when you think about starting a business, that's a very important financial decision for you, because you will have to have the means to support that new business. So check on your hierarchy of financial needs, and see if you are ready to take on this step. Between that, to get ready, maybe you can start, and that will be your recommendation. to educate yourself about the things that you need to know. There's a lot of resources out there. For example, on Qualitas, we have available a financial course for entrepreneurship, and it's called Get Ready to Start a Business. Currently, it's only taught in Spanish, but there's other organizations that offer this kind of workshops as well in English. And for example, the Department for a Small Business Services, they have the business solution centers where a person can go and they can guide you from the beginning, like what do I need to start a business, to how can I keep my business going, and they can guide you through all that process. There's also the Small Business Development Center that offer personalized guidance on the type of license that you need to get, the permits, the local programs, the financial tools that you need. And it's also another organizations that we love is the Start Small Think Big. They offer workshops on what type of taxes I need to pay, the accounting services that I need to get, and other topics of interest. So educate yourselves. In sometimes these resources are free. All these that I mentioned are free and are in your language, and you can start like really seeing if you are ready right now to start and to make that step. Secondly, you can build a solid financial foundation. We talk about that already, but work on your credit, because if you want to access a financial loan to start a business, they will see your credit score. And as I said, a higher credit score give you access to better loans. Always make a budget and start like saving on for that financial goal. And two, well, you can also like another tip that I can give you is to separate your personal finances from your business finances. This is a mistake that new entrepreneurships make a lot, and when they go and have to file their taxes, they will have like problems on separating those two. So from the beginning, separate the personal and business finances, so you avoid having tax problems. And at the end, to shop around for financial incentives and local programs supporting a small business. Right now, there is a lot of support out there from financial institutions and organizations on the organizations that I mentioned before, the Small Business Services and the SBDC. So look for that. And maybe we can see you there on our next course, and get ready to start a business, and we can talk more on detail on how to get ready to take that financial step.
Yes, there are so many great resources available throughout the city for small business support, and we would definitely recommend going to Qualitas for their workshops on small business financial education. So, thank you so much, Soko. You have so much expertise in all things financial, and we really appreciate you taking the time to answer our questions. Now we will be taking questions from the audience. Please remember that this is a public space, and we would like to make sure it is as safe as possible for everyone. So please refrain from sharing personal information. If you have a personal question, our contact information has been pinned in the comments below, and you can send the personal question there. Our first question is, what age should I start teaching my child about finances?
Oh, another great question, and the answer is the sooner the better. Like there's not like age that we can say. It is important that parents talk about money to help them build positive financial habits early on. So you can start like you can mind what are you sharing. Like, don't share your frustrations, and don't share like if you have like if you're having trouble, like don't share those aspects, but share the positive. Maybe you can start like teaching them how to, like, what's the value of money, and how money is made, and how we can, like, how do we get money, like through working, and maybe start like establishing a saving habit. There's a lot of saving challenge that you can do with your family, and you can include your kids. Maybe make a budget with them. Like, we talk about setting a day to make a budget, invite all the family, and maybe the family can give you input on what to maybe cut from your expenses. Make your child to feel included and to have a voice, because that will means that adults will have like those financial habits that we maybe are lacking now because our parents didn't teach us. So start sooner, and share that, and be mindful, and yeah, like work with your kids. They're very smart and they are eager to learn.
Yes, involving children is definitely a great way to teach them. I know I've always been a very hands-on learner. So we know we should start teaching kids at a young age, but are there specific financial educational resources available for children?
Well, there's a lot of resources out there for children. You can find books. You can even see it in the in TV shows such as Sesame Street. There's a saving program in New York that helps you invest on your kids' college future. So the plan is called the NY 529 plan. So maybe you can use that to like share that with your kids. But for example, Qualitas have like family workshops that we believe are more useful, and we recommend it better, because this help you learn the whole family learn about the financials, personal finances. So we recommend these family workshops to cater to the needs of young children, teens, and parents. And these kind of family workshops help the family start like an open conversation regarding money. So if you can find that, maybe you don't have to come to Qualitas on this and use this family workshops. Maybe you can find another organization, but look for family workshops so all the family members can feel heard and listen, and they can start like sharing their own tips and their own inputs, and make utilize the books and the TV shows because they are also very helpful.
Yes, I should have paid more attention to Sesame Street, I guess. Um, the Qualitas workshops are definitely a great resource that families can go to learn all about their budgets. Our next question is, how do I balance a budget for a new business?
Okay, that's an amazing question. So for new business, you will have to focus on getting mastering your personal finances. One of the mistakes that like new entrepreneurs make is that they don't pay themselves first. So they work on this business, but they don't assign themselves a salary. So mastering your personal finances means that on your business budget you will include your salary, so your personal finances will run organically as they should. And on your business budget, you will have to include salaries from all your employees. Maybe you're the only employee right now. It's okay, include your salary. And then the expenses. Sometimes when like a new business owner are starting their business, they're starting from home, so they don't account rental expenses in their budget. So you will have to include that, like maybe uh, make a makeup budget where you include the rent, the electricity, the internet, and all of those expenses, like as if you were spending those in another establishment. uh, Another way to start is to record all of your expenses, but also all of your incomes. Sometimes new business owners forget how to record, like what are they like earning. So when they are asked for how much did you made on the last month, they don't know how what to say because they are not recording their like income. So record your income, record your expenses, make a balance, and see like put your salary there, include all the general expenses, and then um, well, again, like a simple budget. Try to identify where like many like the money is going, or like for example what is the best seller on your business, and try to focus on that, and make the budget every month. Like do this exercise every month, even though like you know your business and you now like know everything about your business. Always make a budget and record those expenses again, and do it all over again.
Thank you. That's really helpful. It does. It all comes back to budgeting. So you can definitely go to Qualitas to learn about their budgeting expertise. Something that we have been seeing in the news a lot, there's been a lot of buzz around inflation rates. So how will the current inflation rates affect me and my family?
Okay, so this is the topic right now. The first thing that I want to say is that don't like don't worry until it's something that we have to worry. So plan plan for any like emergency, but don't stress yourself because there's a lot of information going on. So I for me it's always go to the basics. So go and review your budget. Make sure that you are living under your means, and this mean that you have a cash flow, that you are expending less than what you are earning, um, and this like will help you ensure that your financial stability is strong. So start working on your budget, start working or paying attention on your emergency fund. See if, for example, now that maybe I have in my budget $100 for food, and now I need 150. You can try to find maybe coupons, or maybe access other programs that you didn't consider, for example food stamps, that can help you cover that increase on your expenses. So try to see if there's something out there that you might not be that you never thought about, or that you didn't wanted to reach out before, and plan for emergencies. So work on that emergency fund and talk with your family that everything will be okay, as long as we keep like minding our personal finances and staying on top of our budget.
Yes, those are all really great tips. And that is all the time that we have for today. Thank you again, Soko, and thank you everyone for tuning in. To stay involved with the New York Immigration Coalition and Qualitas of Life Foundation, you can follow us here on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter. All of our contact information is pinned in the comments section below, so you can reach out to us there. Stay safe, take care, and enjoy your evening, everyone. Thank you, Soko.
Thank you for having us.